an addict. My name's Mike D. I'm an addict. My name's Mike D. I love this shit. I opened my book before, and usually when I speak, I'll open my book, and where it turns to, I'll read a piece or something, but we had a reader. I asked Richie, thanks for coming out, Richie. So I asked Richie to find something to read in the big book, right? So when I sat down up here, I opened it and I saw something and I closed it and I said, well, he's going to read something. And then Spirit said, open up your book again. And guess where I opened it to, Richie? Burn the idea into the consciousness of every man that he can get well regardless of anyone. The only condition is that he trusts in God and clean house. How the fuck does that happen? I mean, I'm throwing that out there. I know how it happens. I wonder if you know how it happens. I wonder if you truly know what we do here. What meetings are about, what service is about, what 12 steps, and I can say for this moment, working the 12 steps, and I wonder if you really know what that's all about. Or are you just hanging around and this is la-di-dee, la-di-da, and we're such a great goddamn social club, and where's the cake lady? Where's the cake lady? Great cake, man. Great cake. Great cake, great chamomile tea. Awesome place to hang out in. Awesome place to meet new friends that they like what you have to say, so they'll send for your ass all the way from the United States to come to the UK to listen to what you have to say. I wonder if you really know what this is truly about. What happened just now is not by coincidence. His reading and me opening our textbook and turning to that page. And trust me, I just turned to the page. I love this shit. Somebody thinks this is about just not drinking and not using again. Somebody thinks this is about personal relationships and getting a bunch of new friends and having somewhere to come hang out on a Tuesday night. You know, and drinking coffee and eating cake, because you don't do that. You haven't done that in a very long time. It's a beginning to an end. It's a beginning to an end of your life as you once knew it. It's the beginning of something that if you plug in and you pull in with everything that you have, the same way you did with your crack cocaine or your heroin or your alcohol or your methamphetamine, or your Vicodin, or your tree leaves, or whatever you did uncontrollably. If you put that same energy into what we do here, a life will begin to evolve for you that is literally beyond anything you could ever imagine. I've been doing this for a very long time. My sobriety date is March 9th, 1987. It's no longer about what I see out here. It's no longer about the individual that I meet. It's no longer about working the 12 steps. It's no longer about carrying the message. It's evolved into a place that whatever I do, God, you have to do that for me, because I don't have the power. There's a spiritual way of life here that's not talked about enough. And it's talked about throughout the big book. Bill mentions it in his story. 10th step talks about it. Inventory talks about it. Spirit world. What happened between me and Richie just now wasn't about this world. Travel with me. Wasn't about this world. That wasn't a coincidence. That was on purpose. And it was on purpose for somebody in this room that's floundering. You got 1 foot in and you got 1 foot out, and you're wondering why you all fucked up. Because you're floundering. You're not here because you really want to recover, to become a recovered alcoholic or recovered addict. You don't really want that. It's too scary. Because if I put both feet in, what's going to happen to me? Well, if you do what we do here, there is no more me. I become non-existent. Before I speak, I pray and I ask God to use me. Have me say what you would have me say. Have me be who you would have me be for somebody here tonight. Somebody's dying in here tonight. You don't know if you want to be here or not. You don't know if you like what we do or not. You hang around us, but you don't really think we all that in a bag of chips. But you have living examples in front of your eyes every time you step your foot into a Cocaine Anonymous meeting. I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I've been brought to a place in my life that whatever it takes for me to be closer to you, Father, I'm willing. I'm willing. Because I finally woke up, man. Finally woke up through all of those 20-something years of active, in-depth, unconditional heroin addiction. I finally woke up to the fact of, damn, you ain't dead. Travel with me, because all of you ain't like me on a number of levels. But it's somebody in here tonight that's exactly like me, and you don't even know it. So I'm grateful that he saw fit to keep me breathing long enough until he caught my attention and it held my attention. Because all I ever wanted to do was live. When I took on heroin, no. When I took on sniffing glue, airplane glue out of a paper bag, when I took on drinking cheap rock gut chemical wine, when I took on alcohol, when I took on smoking reefer, when I took on sniffing cocaine, when I took on the lifestyle of concrete and pavement, all I wanted to do was live. That's all I wanted to do. All I wanted was some love. They got a saying that says, looking for love in all the wrong places. Started at a very young age for me. I don't know about you. I don't know if you like me or not. The awakenings that has happened as a result of what we do here in the nucleus of this program. This is my core deal. I'm a licensed minister. I hang out in another fellowship, but this is my core deal. This helped to cement my foundation, what we do here. And what we do here is we get ourselves to a place of total surrender, where you cease fighting everybody and everything. Because if you had any fight about you and you had any heart and you could really fight, you probably wouldn't be here. So the nucleus of what we do encompasses a bunch of stuff to get to one thing. And I'm not clean today, 30 years, because of all that stuff out here that I do. I'm clean today for one reason. God loves me. I am the son of a living God who has loved me for 67 years despite me. He didn't care what I did, where I went, who I loved, who I didn't love, who I hurt, who I didn't hurt. Despite me, he loved me until I could love myself. That's what we do here. We look to hook up. This is the hookup joint. This is the hookup joint. Like any church, any mosque, any temple, we say we're not a religion, but read the original literature of AA, which any AA program that's out there came from AA. Read some of that literature. This is miraculous, man. I look for the stuff that happened 10 minutes ago. Why? Because I need to know God is. As much time as I got, much work as I've done, as many people as I sponsor, all the speaking that I do, everything that's behind me, in the present moment, there are moments when I need to know God is. He hasn't left me, and he hasn't abandoned me. And he shows up. He shows up. He showed up a couple minutes ago. Y'all, somebody else might have felt it, but... Or maybe after I told you about it, you recognized, but... That was a spiritual experience. No coincidences. Spiritual experiences. I look for God to do exactly what he said he would do. He said, I'll be your father, I'll be your director, I'll be your principal. He said, I'll be your new employer. He said, I'll help you to meet calamity with serenity. They give us a whole bunch of promises in this book. If you're into work and they ain't happening, something's wrong. If you ain't into work and they ain't happening, something's wrong. Real simple deal, real simple, so simple that it might sound corny, but what sense does it make to be in a 12-step fellowship and don't do the 12 steps? Makes no sense to me whatsoever. It was impressed upon me by my first sponsor. That's my duty. That's my job, to move you through steps 1 through 12. That's it. I'm not your banker. I'm not your chauffeur. I'm not your friend. I'm not your counselor. I'm not your sex therapist. I'm not your psychiatrist. Don't come to me with your stuff. Go to God first. That's where the power is. What we do here in the nucleus of this program is about the acquisition of power. And get to a place where I recognize when power is flowing through me to out here. That's all this is about. 12-step tells us what this is about. So I'm grateful when I got here 28 years ago. I stayed in treatment about 14 months, got kicked out of treatment, did one thing they told me to do, that was go to meetings. And I went to meetings, and next thing I did that I was told to do was get a sponsor. And I got a sponsor, and that sponsor was properly armed with some facts about himself that caught my attention and held it. He was a heroin addict like I was. He said, if you don't ever want to shoot dope again, you don't ever have to. There is a solution. This is not for people that need it. Somebody's here tonight because somebody sent you to see us. Somebody sent you to see us. I don't see no little white signing papers. Y'all got signing papers in meetings? No? Or a wife sent you here, or a husband sent you here, or I heard somebody back there say I'm supporting somebody. You know, what are you really doing here? Precursor to the third step says, I must believe that any life run on self-will can hardly do a success. How's that working for you, Mike, running your life on your will? You doing all right at 30 years? No. That's why my crazy ass is still here 30 years later. Being a recovered addict, what happened, God shows up and shows me my deficiencies that block me from Him and get me from in alignment with Him. And I've grown to the point of knowing that when that's happening, the next deal is Hebron's knocking on the door through 52, 18, and 151. Knocking. Becomes a very simple deal, not a complicated deal. So it's about allowing what we do here to work you. You don't work it. Being of service in this meeting is about you getting out of your selfish, self-centered ass and helping somebody by making tea or making cake or being a greeter and saying, as soon as I walked up, he walked up and said, hey, I'm the greeter, how you doing? Moving through all 12 steps, and you maybe the first couple of times you'll be in the mindset of you worked 1 through 12, but somewhere along the line you'll begin to know that you don't have the power to work the 12 steps. You don't have to. You don't have the power to just say, I surrender. The real alcoholic, real addict has to be brought to a surrender. Not only out there, but in here too, because we get cocky and big-headed. And I begin to realize that those steps work me. I actually experience powerlessness with no drugs or alcohol in my system whatsoever. I can move through a first step, and I can experience the allergy and the obsession without actually drinking or using. And it'll rip me to pieces. And I'll know that it's still, you getting loaded again, Mike. That's my truth. I'm shooting dope again. Heron knows I love it. I love Heron. Till today. Magical. Wonder drug. It's like that good relationship you was in. Some of y'all know about that, right? Them good relationships that you in and you just can't get away. You know you need to be away, but you can't get away because of something, right? I ain't going to say what, because of something, right? Heron knows we had a love affair. Most intense, unconditional relationship I ever had in my life was with Heron. 20-something years. Straight, no chaser, uncut, raw dog with Heron. Plenty of times got to a place where I knew I shouldn't be messing around and didn't have the power to stay stopped. Not stop, stay stopped. That's the key. I didn't figure that out for 20-something years. I could always stop by going into a treatment program or going to jail or doing a geographic or whatever. I could never seem to stay stopped. Bing, light bulb. What we do here has afforded me a life beyond my wildest dreams. Somebody wants it. Somebody wants it. Somebody wants to wake up in the morning, man, and you're smiling. When your eyes open, you're smiling. You ain't frowning because you got to go to work, because you don't like the job you're on. You hate the goddamn job you're on, and it's like, fuck, I got to do this again. You get the power to separate yourself from that which affects your spirit and trust and believe in God that He will give you exactly what you need for your life, and you hold until it comes. First, in a willingness to believe, second step. And with enough of those willing to believe, you get to a place where you begin to believe, and then guess what? You become a knower of God. Not like know him, but you know if I can't mess around, man, so I know you're going to show up. I'm going to be still. I ain't taking matters into my own hands no more. You know how we do. We want to run shit. We want to solve problems and shit. We want to be Einsteins. Einsteinism got us inculcated out of this. But we can't see that. I talked about it over the weekend, man. This is the goddamn nut house, y'all. If you're sitting here, you're probably a nut. Whether you want to cop to it or not. Some of us know you are. But that's not the key. You got to know you are. You got to know that something's got to happen here, man. Still, it ain't changed because I've been here as long as I have. It ain't changed. I still do my recovery the same way I did it from year 2 when I got to Cocaine Anonymous. Out of that first piece of work, came out of step 1, addict, not alcoholic addict. That's a whole, when I come back next time, I'll talk about that. But it came out addict, and Joe said, you got to go. We had an AA meeting that we went to, and we, matter of fact, we started on Tuesday nights. I was Alcoholic Addict and did a piece of work with him. Joe Hawk was my grant sponsor. Came out of the First Step Addict. Went to that meeting the next Tuesday night, and he said, you got to go. I said, what are you talking about? He said, you're not alcoholic. He said, Alcoholics Anonymous is for alcoholics. Go find a home. That's for somebody in here tonight. Alcoholics Anonymous is for alcoholics. You've been fucking around in CA and AA, and you're miserable. You can't find no peace. Get a foundation. Solidify your foundation. I do CA. That's it. Why? Cocaine and all other mind-altering substances. I'm a heroin addict. Alcoholics can hang out in CA. Addicts can't hang out in alcohol. Well, some AA groups let you do that shit. But real AA, 5 minutes. A lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. I look for what we really do here. I go to meetings, and when I sit in meetings, I look for the nod. When somebody's sharing or somebody's speaking, I look for my head to go like this. That means I identify. I don't identify with everybody. I look for like-minded people. I like the people that are in my club. There's a club in the club. Somebody know it. What's the name of it? Where's he at? Oh, he's asleep now.
Mad Dog.
The Mad Dog Club. The Mad Dog Club. That means no matter what you drink or you use. No matter what, without God, you going. No matter what, this program has got to be about God and spirituality for you. No matter what, you're going to have to enlarge your spiritual life. No matter what, you're going to have to become your brother's keeper. You don't have an option. No matter what, you're going to have to love your neighbor as you love yourself. As you love yourself. So you're going to have to grow to love yourself. Every piece of you. Lighten up on you, man. We ain't perfect. You're going to make a left some days when you should make a right. Give yourself a break. God did. That's why you sit here. Phenomenal life. Awesome life. 12 Steps says, watch a fellowship grow up around you. I had no clue. I had no clue what this was about when I got here. I thought maybe I wouldn't shoot dope again. But like I said, I had a love for it. I loved heroin, man. You know what? I still love it today. I am thankful heroin was a part of my life. Look what it's done for me. Look where it's catapulted me to. My story. Coupled with the fact of I'm in alignment with the will of God. So if somebody in here tonight, you're wondering what's wrong, you might need to jump into what we really do. Seek God. Don't play at it. Don't half measure it. Go at it the same way you went at your drinking and using. Finish all 12 steps. Complete all 12 steps. Not 9 steps or 8.5. All 12. And if you complete all 12 and it ain't worked for you, Don's got my number and Richie's got my number and Sean's got my number. A couple people's got my number. Call me and tell me, Mike D, you full of shit. This shit don't work. I guarantee you, you complete all 12 steps. You put the energy into it, you put into your drinking and your using. You abandon yourself to God and you surrender completely. you will have a life beyond your wildest dreams. Thanks for letting me share.